A two-sided lace example. This is the first row of knitting after the waste yarn crochet cast on. Turn the work over to do the first pattern row on the reverse side. Slip 1. Purl 1. Remember, this looks like a knit stitch on the front. Yarn over, exactly the same as on the front. Twist the next purl stitch. With the right needle, go behind the stitch, put the right needle in from left to right, purl, and pull the stitch through. This creates a nice twisted stitch which helps prevent the yarn from migrating. Purl to where you need to work your CDD. Slip one stitch as if to knit, slip the next stitch as if to knit, put them back on the left needle and slip them as if you were going to purl them together through the back. Go into both stitches from the back from left to right and slip them off the needle. Purl the next stitch and pass the slip stitches over. Work to the purl 1, yarn over, purl 1 increase. Purl 1 into the stitch, but don't take the stitch off of the left needle. Yarn over and purl 1 back into the same stitch. Keep working across the row until the last few stitches. Purl through the back loop, yarn over, and purl to the end. The beginning end here is loose, so we're just going to snug it up. Turn the work around. Slip the first stitch, work to the yarn over. Do the yarn over and twist the next stitch. Normally we work into the front, like this. To twist the stitch, work into the back of the stitch. Notice the legs of the stitch below are crossed at the front. Work to where you need to do the CDD. In this pattern, the central double decrease is always centered above the CDD of the row below. Here, we see the second stitch has a CDD below it, so we slip these two stitches as if we're going to knit them together. Knit the next stitch and pass the two slipped stitches over. Work to where you did the purl 1 yarn over, purl 1 increase on the previous row. Knit into the back of the first stitch, twisting it. Do a yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, and then knit into the back of the next stitch. If you get confused as to where the CDD belongs, note that you need one stitch before the CDD on the previous row. On the wrong side, if you have trouble figuring out where the CDD is, you can tell that this stitch is a little bit thicker on the back, but it's really easy to see from the front. An alternative way to do the CDD: from behind, go into the second stitch as if to purl. Pinch the first and second stitch to the right needle, slip both stitches off, pick up the loose stitch with the left needle and slip it back onto the right needle. Purl the next stitch and pass the slip stitches over. Here's what one pattern section looks like. Because we have these twisted stitches right beside the yarn overs don't migrate or get lost.